Hey everyone, hope everything is going well. The reason why I'm doing this video is because the real guy 27 or the real 27 guy had a story or a post which I thought was a bit ridiculous knowing the history of Hankus Pankus going on with PMGs. And he used to be on blowout forums or, comment there and, you know, basically intel was shared there and it seems like he didn't want to be caught in any of that, you could say in air quotes, drama because he deals in the high end. But go to this post. He says, if you think you're bad at your job, just remember this guy who wrote about the most overrated basketball cards in 1999. Just to have two of his five choices become arguably the greatest basketball cards ever made. Now, first of all, you can't call them the greatest basketball cards ever. Yes, they do look nice. However, these were pumped, shilled, based on evidence on blowout. A lot of hanky panky went down, and the real 27 guy knows about Goonblock, but won't say too much about it because it's not going to help his cause here. Now, I want to get into a side note with the real 27 guy. He used to follow me, and he stopped following me right after I asked him, "Hey, did you do a reel on Alt, which promoted your card, but you didn't disclose that was your card that was up for auction?" He got peeved. And then he went on a tangent in his in his podcast, and he said later on, "What's the purpose of you being in the hobby?" That was directed towards me. Is it to be negative or to give something more productive? Well, I would add, first of all, I'm independent. I say whatever I want. And when I did all those videos on card porn, I was called negative. I was called a kook. When I went after, the pumps and dumpers, when I went after, you know, a whole bunch of fraudsters in the hobby, is that negative or is that shedding light? People in the industry can't talk about that. So it is what it is. So when I see things like that, when they hide behind positivity, that's usually a red flag. And I don't know why he got irked with that. I mean, it's a legit question, especially, when he used to be a CPA. So I don't know. That was just weird interaction that I had with him. I think it was completely fine questioning that I did on him, even though I don't think I did a video on it. Anyways, going back to the PMGs and accusations of being pumped and dumped and all that. This is Grok, by the way. Okay. I was able to get a response from Grok. And I said in the story in Instagram, celebrating the success is quite hilarious of PMGs, especially when Gunbloth, aka what researchers call on Blowout as Nick Uliano, he's the one accused of doing major hanky panky. He was accused of pumping and shilling PMG cards, right? I don't think these could be the greatest cards ever when they were allegedly pumped and chilled to the nth degree. On Blowout forums, a user named Gunblock, this is on Grok, has indeed been accused of shill bidding and potentially rigging the sports card market, particularly around PMGs. These accusations stem from discussions across multiple threads, notably from Freedom Cardboard in 2010, that spilled over into Blowout Forums chatter. The allegations suggest Gunbloth was involved in a pattern of behavior where he'd sell a high-end value card, like a Michael Jordan red PMG, then bid on it again later, potentially to inflate or manipulate perceived demand. One specific claim from a Freedom Cardboard thread, cross-referenced on Blowout, details Gunbloth selling a Jordan red PMG 18 out of 100 to a buyer in May of 2011, only for it to resurface in an auction by Redskin Wizard in August 2011. With speculation, he was bidding it up himself. Here's the question why he'd sell a card. He'd covered it only to chase it again, hinting at a pump and dump scheme. That's what like people were talking about on forums. And people, Abra Calabro is saying he allegedly was a scammer during the 90s boom. And allegedly they managed to artificially inflate the price of various cards, Michael Jordan specifically, and that's why everything is hyper expensive now. So that was said back in 2017, okay? If you want to look at some other hanky panky that this guy has been allegedly involved with, Blowout Forum users, like I said, they think that he's NY Fan 2014, aka Nick Uliano, aka Gunblatt, and they talked about some of his eBay usernames that they discovered and go to it. One of his what antiques jewelry galore, and he allegedly has had another eBay name, make an offer. There's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, why is he allegedly trying to call himself Jung Woo Park? One of his buddies said, "You need more evidence." And I'm like, yo, go ask him about Jung Woo Park. Who is Jung Woo Park? You want, and then this post was basically saying, hey, look, we think that this Jung Woo Park guy make an offer that this guy is actually allegedly Nicoliano. And then they see a bunch of listings under his eBay account, if not all of them. The locations soon changed after they were listed. Is it possible that these items are not actually located in New Haven, Connecticut? And he's posting more evidence of why he believes that Gunblatt is Nick Uliano and also Jungwoo Park. You never see someone trying to use the name Jungwoo Park. Why would someone do that, by the way? You see this make an offer. This is the same car that was posted on Nick Uliano's site. Okay, excuse me. So you see all of that and you're like, okay, that's weird. And it looks like with all of this, it's a hanky panky going on. He was accused, go through the blowout forms. I just read some of them, by the way. Okay. And it's just wild if he's creating these other eBay accounts and having these messages like Josh told me it's been up there for a while. I just saw the listing after looking at the one for 60,000. Sounds like the guy's in love with the card, not interested in selling for some reason. I would offer, but it might insult him from the million tag he wants. No best option offer option either, and I guess it won't help since I'm overseas buyer. Laugh out loud. So, he's just talking about like this thread over here. I mean, I could read it over here, but it says claims to be an overseas buyer, even though he's based in the US, and also mentions being quoted the same price every 6 months. This thread is about how the 97, 98 game jersey auto, which at the time was listed for $1 million, now listed at $1.5 million. You find the original post that is no longer, but here's the current listing. So he says both he and the item are in the US. Okay, that does not make sense. Okay, someone's lying. So I don't know. It just seems off going through all of the threads here on Instagram. Not to mention the fact that this Nick guy, I barely interacted with him. He used to follow me, used to like some of my posts, and then he unfollowed me, and soon after that, he blocked me at one point. This is before I did this reel on what the real 27 guy said. So if you haven't interacted with me, really, and you unfollow me, okay, that happens. That's normal. But blocking, where I didn't even say anything negative to this guy, I didn't say, I didn't have that much conversation if I did at all. But to warrant a block, that is weird. Like, who are the people that block me? PWCC blocked me back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I get why they would block me. I was going after them. What, card porn blocked me? Um, who else blocked me? I mean, there's a huge laundry list. Teapot blocked me. That's I don't get like the teapot blocking and the blocking from Nick Uliano. That doesn't make any sense. Are people trying to hide things? Like, what's going on here? And no, once again, the PMG card is a great card. It's not the greatest of all time. I mean, any card that was shilled and pumped to the nth degree is not the greatest. Just like Barry Bonds, great player, but he's not the greatest. If he didn't use roids, he'd still probably get in the upper 500s, early or low 600s, but he would not be the home run king in air quotes with an asterisk. So it is what it is. You got to be careful of some people in the hobby. There's a bunch of allegations set forth on this guy. I would have probably messaged him about this, but I'm blocked. So kind of forced to do the video without getting his perspective. So it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts about this. You know anything else about this Gloonblot guy? It seems like what he allegedly did was much, much, much worse than Great Curator. As much as I went after Curator, I should have probably spent that same energy going after what I see here. So it is what it is. Information's out there. Like I said earlier, Hobby King, it showed that this Goonblock was caught hyping Jordan cards and 23 Braun Jordan, second account of Goonblock, used to hype his cards in order to set a false market. That was set on Hobby Kings close to what, a decade ago? Like, this is what intel they had. And we saw the crazy moves during the pandemic. We saw even before the pandemic, we saw crazy moves. So you have to ask yourself, what percent in high end is actually fake? It's trimmed or hanky panky involved, where there's market manipulation going on, which is much easier to manipulate these markets. It's not like with stocks where you have millions of stocks. So let me know your thoughts about this. I'll talk to you later. Bye.